experience of it was like what I needed for my soul. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my channel if you guys are new here. If you guys are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Of course, watch this video all the way through. So I'm not gonna say an introduction this time. In part one, I introduced myself and all of that. Let's get right into the video. Part two of my residency videos are going to be about my personal experience in the residency. If y'all have not watched part one, definitely go back and watch part one and then come back. Like I mentioned, in part one, we did do 2 weeks on each floor. So for me, I picked labor and delivery, ER, and everybody had to do med-surg. I'm just gonna go over about my personal experiences in each department. Very interesting, and it really was not what I expected. What I thought I was gonna choose, I didn't choose. I'm just gonna go in order. First one that I did was med-surg. The kind of hospital that I work at is a public hospital. So my hospital takes people that are uninsured. We have a lot of immigrant patients, a lot of people who don't speak English. When I say a lot, I mean pretty much like 75% of the patients are uninsured are immigrants. With that being said, I want to say we kind of have a reputation that we are the hospital that only takes uninsured patients. That's just what I get from being there. With that in mind, there was a lot of homeless patients, and there was a lot of people there for drugs. Homeless and drugs a lot of time do go hand in hand. Pretty much majority of the patients are uninsured. It was a slower paced hospital. When I say slow paced, I mean what you would think that nurse life is like, where you're running around, where you don't have free time, where you don't have to have time to take breaks, where you can't sit down and answer text messages. Like, the hospital I work at is not like that. Like, there is a lot of free time, which I am grateful for. I don't know how I would have handled being in a hectic environment for my first year as a nurse. It's good for me, but then again, it's like, what if I do go to a busier hospital and I don't know how to do time management, or I don't know how to handle it? That is something that I was a little concerned about. I did ask a few nurses who have left and ended up coming back, and they told me like it wasn't a problem for them. They still learned enough at this hospital to be proficient at another hospital. So even though the patients are less, you still see the same things that you see in faster paced hospitals. The only difference I would say is our equipment is very old. So if I was to move to another hospital, I may not know how to work it. And I can learn. Everybody has to learn somewhere. So with that being said about our patient population, pretty much med-surg to me was not exciting, and I like excitement. I've realized I like adrenaline rushes. I need something that's just gonna have my heart like, oh my God, like I really just did that, or I really just saw that. Like I told you guys, I did pick my preceptor from med-surg, and he was cool. The reason why I chose him to be my preceptor is because I could tell he was a really good nurse. And on the med-surg floor, since apparently nobody wants to work med-surg, there was a lot of travelers. And with travelers, sometimes they're not the nicest. Like, they're there for the money, and that's just that. So they wasn't really nice, and I was a tech on that floor, so they wasn't really nice to me. And I didn't like the fact that I was technically a nurse, I just wasn't registered. So I was working after I graduated, so I was pretty much already a nurse. I just needed to take my NCLEX. They wouldn't talk to me, they wouldn't try to show me stuff, they wouldn't nothing. That was my experience with med-surg. It wasn't like terrible where I hated it, but it wasn't like, oh, I could do this every day of my life. Like, it wasn't like, no. Like, I wouldn't do that for the rest of my life. So the next unit that I did for the next 2 weeks was labor and delivery. Now, let's backtrack. Not too far, not too much, but I missed the labor and delivery clinical because of COVID. Like, literally, I was supposed to go like the next month after COVID started. I was supposed to go to Northside Hospital in Atlanta and do a labor and delivery clinical. However, I was not able to because of COVID. So I was like, dang, I was asking my teacher, like, maybe I do like labor and delivery, but I've never seen anybody give birth. I don't have kids. I don't have siblings. I don't even know like how it would be. She was like, watch some videos on YouTube. So I did watch some videos. Now the videos I watched, well, for one, I watched home videos. I don't know why, but I watched like some home videos, and it was just very nasty. Like, it was a lot of blood, it was a lot of liquids. I was like, oh no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But I'm like, okay, maybe let's just see if I like it. So that's why I chose labor and delivery from one of my units. None of the other units like appeased me. ICU, I'm definitely not an ICU girl. Like, no ma'am. When I did do my peds clinical, I was like, oh, I really like peds. I really like babies. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, let's just see how labor and delivery is. It's close to baby. It's close to like peds. It's the closest thing I'm gonna get to peds, and my hospital doesn't have a peds unit. So I'm like, I'm still close to the babies. I'm still like, you know, maybe it'll be similar. Maybe I like it. Whatever. We'll see. Like, my first day there, I lit, which I shouldn't have said, but sometimes I need to learn how to just like and not say anything. But one of the nurses there was like, oh, are you gonna do labor and delivery? And I was like, I don't know, probably not. Like, I shouldn't have said that, but that's really how I felt. I was like, probably not. I'm just doing it. I'm just floating here because I missed labor and delivery clinical, and I just wanted to see how it would be. And she was like, okay. So after I said that, it was kind of like she didn't want to. This wasn't my preceptor. This was just another nurse. So after I said that, it was kind of like, oh, well, it's no point in really like teaching her stuff. So definitely don't do that. Also, another thing that I failed to mention is that my hospital is connected with another HBCU in the area. So we have so many doctor residents in the hospital. Like, it's crazy. Like, literally, somebody will be giving birth and it's five doctor residents in there. Imagine, like, it is a teaching hospital and it's residents everywhere. Like, it's so many of them. The first day I got to stand in for a birth, I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. This is really kind of cool. So I'm like, okay, it's okay. Like, I like the people. The people are nice. Like, it's not as many travelers, people that been there for a while. And I like the people there. I like the environment. The doctors was cool. Even though one of the doctors was so mean to the students, it was crazy. I'm like, dang, she was really mean. But I mean, she was nice to me. She was really nice to me, and like, I still see her to this day, and she'll like say hi to me and stuff. So the first birth, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I still wasn't convinced that I would want to do labor and delivery. So the next day, we had a patient, and she was contracting and in labor for like the whole shift. She didn't get close to delivery until like 6:30. But me being like new to this, I'm like, I hope she gives birth before 7. And you know, the other nurses are like, I hope she doesn't. She started giving birth, and I'm like, I want to see it. Even if it wasn't my preceptor's patient, I still was like, I want to see it. The lady was like, go in there. So I go in there, and literally the doctor thought I was the patient's nurse. She was asking me to do stuff. I had to put the fetal heart monitor on the mom's belly. She was asking me to do all this bunch of different stuff, and I was doing it. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, she knew I didn't know what I was doing, but I was trying. I was trying, y'all. She just starts pushing as soon as I walk in there, and I'm like, whoa, like, I'm the only nurse in here. Like, what do I do? So I just start helping, and I'm trying to find the baby's heartbeat, but the girl was big, and she's pushing, and I'm just like pushing the heart monitor on her. The doctor's like, you gotta find the baby's heartbeat. You gotta find the baby's heartbeat. And I'm trying. And at the same time, I'm like holding the girl's leg. Keep in mind, she's a big girl, so I'm holding her leg, trying to find the baby's monitor. This is literally my second day. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Eventually, the nurse walks in there. She helps me, and you know, I'm doing it. Putting the baby's heart, putting the fetal monitor on the stomach, trying to find a heartbeat, holding the leg. And the nurse, she helps me, and then after a while, the patient's pushing. The nurse leaves out again. Like, I'm about to use the bathroom. And at this point, I'm like, I must look like I know what I'm doing, because I literally don't. So she left again, and I was doing the same thing, still trying to find the baby's heartbeat. Keep in mind, I never found a baby's heartbeat, but she pushed out the baby. The baby was healthy, but that was just a crazy experience because I did not know what I was doing, and the adrenaline rush and everything was amazing to me, y'all. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I love this. Even though I didn't know what I was doing and doctors asked me to do stuff I didn't know and I was looking dumb, I loved it. Like, the whole experience of it was just like what I needed for my soul. Like, I needed that adrenaline rush. So that happened. Patient gives birth, I leave, and I'm just still feeling like I'm on a high, y'all. I'm like, that was literally amazing. Like, even when I got home, I was like, oh my God, like, I literally delivered a baby by myself. Well, I was the only nurse in the room, but I literally helped deliver a baby. Like, I literally did that. It was that moment where you're like, wow, like, this is for me. But at this point, I hadn't did emergency room yet, and my whole life I've been like, I'm gonna be an ER nurse. I'm gonna be an ER nurse. Like, I would say that my whole life. So I'm like, let's see how ER goes. But I really like labor and delivery. So part of the labor and delivery, 2 weeks, we had to do, I think we did 2 days on labor and delivery, 2 days on postpartum, and 2 days in the nursery. So women's health is all one floor. So pretty much they wanted us to go to the different departments on each floor. So nursery was cool, the babies was cool, the baby was cute or whatever. I could do nursery. Nursery was good, but it's just very slow. Like, I just honestly feel like that's like something that you do when you're like been a nurse for 40 years and your legs don't work the same no more. That's kind of what what it's like. You just feed the baby, take him to their mom, and just change the baby, stuff like that. Postpartum, you're taking care of the mom, which was cool. Like, it was cool. It was kind of a little slow, but it was cool overall. But I'm still like, we'll see. I definitely don't want to do nursery. I definitely don't want to do postpartum. It's definitely labor and delivery was my favorite part of women's health floor. Fast forward to my ER rotation. Like I said, I always was like, I'm gonna be an ER nurse, but I was in for a rude awakening once I got to the ER. So let's rewind to when I was telling you guys about the culture of the hospital. Homeless patients, people on drugs. Also, I did mention that our hospital is the hospital that takes inmates. So people who get arrested, who are found on the street, drunk or high, they bring them to our hospital. People who are in jail or prison, all their patients who get sick, they come right on down to our hospital. So we're the jail hospital, homeless hospital, uninsured, like all of them come. So it was not what I expected as an ER. And like I said, we don't have the newest equipment. So if somebody has a level 2 trauma, even a level 1 trauma, shoot, we can't take them. Like, they gotta go right across the street to the other hospital that has all of that equipment that's needed. Like, I didn't get to see any gunshot wounds. I didn't see any stabbings. Like, I know that's bad, but like, honestly, that's the type of stuff I want to see. That's the kind of stuff that I was expecting that, and that's the kind of stuff that I would probably be like, oh wow, that was so cool. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see any of that, y'all. The only thing I saw was, well, the coolest thing I saw was decorticate positioning. So patient was rushed in and he had like his arms was like this, and it was just really bizarre. Like, I'd never seen anything like it. It was very bizarre. And then he woke up and I'm like, how you go from not speaking to you up and you trying to open up the crash cart? Okay, that was like the coolest thing I saw. But pretty much, I want to say like 85% of the patients that was in our ER was drunk, also maybe having a mental health breakdown, or homeless drunk found on the street. That was pretty much that, or overdose. Like, that was pretty much our ER in a nutshell. So it wasn't what I expected. Yeah, I don't know what else more to say. Also, my schedule was 5 nights in a row. So that right there, that like really put a damper on my mental, because if y'all work in a hospital, or if y'all work 12-hour shifts, and tell me how it is working 5 days straight, because y'all would know 5 12-hour shifts night shifts at that, y'all. All my other rotations was day shift, and then I go to ER, and then it's on night shift, and then it's 5 days in a row. Y'all, never again in life. That was just terrible on that. Also, they wasn't really the friendliest to me down there. Nobody really talked to me. I would even like try to talk to my preceptor, and it's like, you know how when you talk to somebody and they don't keep the conversation going, like they'll answer the question and then like not say anything else, or not be like, oh, but what about you? Or, you know, it was kind of like that. That's the vibe I was getting. And then the last day I had a different preceptor, and it was another girl, and she had just graduated 6 months. So I mean, I guess you can learn a lot in 6 months, but then it's like how you precept if you only been in there 6 months. I mean, I guess if you work like multiple shifts a week for 6 months, then you pretty much know. But she treated me like I was a CNA, and at that point I had already took my NCLEX and passed. So why you treat me like a CNA? So just an example, like one time I was coming right back from break, and she was in one of our patients' room, and she was in there. I don't know what she was doing in there, but she came out of the room and was like, she needs ice and she needs her vital signs taken. First of all, I'm like, I'm just coming back from break. Second of all, you was just in there. Why are you telling me she need ice? Why are you telling me she need her vital signs taken? If vital sign machine is in there, you're in there. What? Why are you telling me? Like, why you just didn't do it? So I felt like she was treating me more like I was there to help, as opposed to I'm a nurse and you're supposed to be precepting me. I just did not like that, y'all. Like, after she said that to me, I got the ice, but I didn't say not one word to her. Literally said not one word to her the whole shift, because I'm just like, girl, like, why are you acting like that? And then she wasn't even. That was just very annoying, y'all. That was my experience in the ER. I think I would probably have to go to another hospital to get the ER experience that I was expecting. But I definitely was like, no to the ER. Like, it made me sad because I'm like, I really thought I would like ER, but So what I think it is, I think I would do better in a peds ER as opposed to just a regular ER. I think peds ER I would really like. Like I told you guys, I found out I'm an adrenaline rush junkie, so I need that adrenaline rush during my shift. So don't really get that in that ER. They probably do sometimes, but being that I was there for 2 weeks and I really honestly didn't even see anything like that was that crazy, I'm like, is this how it is? But they like, they do get trauma, they do get gunshots, but I mean, I was there for 2 weeks and I didn't see anything, so it's like, 2 weeks with no excitement. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I mean, it was cool, but it was interesting to see like the different stuff. But I was like, it's not for this hospital ER is just not for me. And also another thing, I'm gonna say this one last thing, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. Another thing was, like I said, it's a lot of mental health patients. So if somebody's on the street having like a mental breakdown, the ambulance can take them, or the police can take them. They take them right here to my hospital. So it's so many people with mental health issues that's there, who's like making noise, you know, just going through their breakdown. I have a psychology degree, yes, but personally I just don't think that mental health nursing is for me, because I don't even know like how to, it's like I don't know what to say, like when they're going through their breakdowns, or they're going through, or they're hallucinating or something. Like, I personally, like, I'm not good at like knowing what to say. Like, I'm just one of those people, like when people cry, like I don't know what to say. I just stand there and just let them cry. Like, I don't know how to react. I don't know. I'm not good at that. So that's another thing. You get a lot of that in the ER. In our ER, we don't have a mental health floor. I know there are some hospitals, they do have a mental health floor, or they will transfer somebody to a mental health hospital. We do that, but at the same time, like, it takes time to get them into a mental health facility, so they will stay at our hospital until there's a room for them at the mental health facility. Sorry, y'all, my I guess I went over the time, but that's also something that I would have to deal with working on in the ER. So I'm just like, maybe we could try it again at maybe a Peace hospital, but this is not for me. And it sucks because I mean, I thought, I really did think that I would like the ER. I literally been saying that all my life. Thing I had to touch on about the whole COVID thing. I didn't really get in contact with any COVID. Well, I did have a COVID patient in the ER, but like on med surg, we have a whole floor for COVID patients, and I didn't work on that floor, so maybe it would have been like more fast paced if I did work on a COVID floor. However, I didn't, so I didn't get to experience that. But we do have a COVID floor. I just didn't have to precept on it. So that's that. But all hospitals are different, and my hospital is definitely different. It's a very different hospital. So I don't know. I can't really compare my experience to you guys' experience, but I'm just sharing with you guys, you know, my experience and my time floating to different floors. And yeah, so obviously I chose labor and delivery. I'll give you guys some more information on that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and
Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop.